I turned 22.
Happy birthday to you.
I ate cake and I also ate a 22-inch pizza.
Why are you laughing?
It just looks so massive, you know? It looks intimidatingly huge.
But this video isn't about the food nor the cake. It's about a feeling, the feeling of gratitude and how a person can benefit from gratitude journaling. And though gratitude journals are something which are very personal, I think by the end of this video, I'll read out a gratitude journal of mine. And I know that it's easy to feel grateful when events like your birthday or something nice happens to you. But again, that's the whole point of this video, where even if it's not your birthday, you can always feel grateful. Because as they say, gratitude is the best attitude. But before I talk about how you should journal, I first want to talk about why you should journal in the first place. And for that, we need to understand humans and how human emotions work. As humans, we evolved in an environment where we were constantly surrounded by threats. Whether that be it a predator or a lion hiding in the bushes waiting to eat us or prey on us, or whether that be it a wild berry that if consumed would probably kill us. So as a result, we always had to be aware of the threats around us, but moreover, we had to remember those threats so that we don't make the same mistake twice. Millions of years have passed, and though we might look very modern, we still have that primal instinct in us. And what that means is that we still carry the negative emotions or the threats from the past and still let it affect us today, whether we are aware of it or not. Positive emotions, on the other hand, are more volatile and it evaporates once you experience it. And that's why they say that you can never laugh at the same joke twice. And also remember the toy that you wanted really badly and you cried and you begged your mom for it. And guess what? You eventually got it. But at the same time, after a point of time, it stopped making you happy and it's probably collecting dust in some corner of the house. Totally didn't happen to me. So basically, the positive emotions, they kind of fade away. But at the same time, the negative emotions are the ones that linger on far after the events have occurred. So that is exactly where gratitude journaling comes into the picture. Where let's just say that an event or something made you really happy, and over time you will forget it and it will stop making you happy. But at the same time, if you write it down and you keep it in a book, 1 year later when you read it, it will spark that same sense of happiness or joy when you first experienced it. And that again will cause this sense of positive feedback loop, where you'll only start remembering the good things that happened to you in the past, and as a result you'll view the lens in a positive way and think and see and experience only positive things, which you will write down in your gratitude journal. 1 year after that, you reread that journal and that will again make you feel more positive. And the opposite is also true, where you have a bunch or a bundle of negative emotions. And every time you think of the past, you only think of the negative things that happened to you. And as a result, you develop a negative view towards the world today. And you view the world through a negative point of view or a negative perspective, which will affect your today and your future. And that can be the loop that you might get stuck in. We really don't want to be that person. So the next thing that you can do is to start. Start by writing the things that you are grateful for. And as soon as this video is over, that's exactly what I want you to do. Write it down and keep it to yourself. It can be an event which happened to you for which you are grateful for. Or it can also be the feeling of gratitude that you're feeling towards somebody, which you can also write down. If you want to take it a step further, where it will be slightly harder and you'll be slightly more vulnerable, what you can do is actually read it out aloud to the person to whom you wrote the gratitude journal for. And by reading it out to the person, in essence, what you're doing is first, you're just spreading the feeling of gratitude and sharing the experience, so that it's not only confined to you, where even the other person will definitely feel that gratitude. And the second thing is that you just create this really nice atmosphere of positivity. There's no right or wrong way of doing it, but I just want to share how I do it and also share the experiences which trigger it. My gratitude journal always starts off with the things that I'm already grateful to have. Grateful for the situation that I'm in. And to be honest, I'm living my 18-year-old self's dream life. I always wanted to experience college life in another city, which I did. And I also always wanted to live on my own, which I'm currently doing. And I also always wanted to have a YouTube channel, which I have. So as of right now, I'm really grateful for the things that happen and the things that are happening. I would like to use last week as an example of how I would make a gratitude journal. Last week, for those of you who don't know, I went home. I met my family after 8 months. The gratitude journal is usually an unfiltered and a judgment-free zone. It's also very personal, which means you don't have to share it with anybody. But just for the purpose of this video, I'll just share a few things which I wrote down. But before I start, do leave a comment on one thing that you are grateful for. And while you're at it, also do make sure you hit that subscribe button in order to become a part of the community. Firstly, I'm grateful to be born in such a loving family where I've been given nothing but love and affection. Being a parent comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of sacrifices, which my parents too had to make in raising both my brother and I. In India, most of our moms had to give up a potential career in order to raise their kids. And on top of that, I was a very stubborn and a very naughty kid. I honestly don't know how my mom dealt with me. The other day, when I was on the boat ride, it turns out that the person who was rowing the boat was actually from my dad's school. My dad's same school. On the boat ride, they were reminiscing of how their school life was. And they were just bringing back old memories and also talking about the common friends and the common classmates that they knew. Which got me thinking of how grateful I am to my dad. My dad who focused on his education at the time. And as a result, he created opportunities for himself and got out of the small town in Kerala and moved on to bigger and better things. And that action has a huge role to play on how and why I can sit here and talk to you like this. And I really do believe that I'm privileged. And if you have a device on which you're watching this and can also understand what I'm talking, you are probably privileged too. I went home for my birthday, so we ordered cake and cinnamon rolls from a home bakery. The cake and the food that day were just really yummy. But even apart from that, on a day-to-day basis, I would say I'm guilty of taking things for granted. I have always had a roof over my head and also have never faced any sorts of scarcity, and quite the opposite in fact, where I was surrounded by an abundance of food. So much so that I ended up overeating and getting a little chubby during my teenage years. In the past, I have been made fun of for my weight. And also, I've never been the popular or the cool kid in class. Yeah, I know that it's hard to believe when I say that right now, but yeah, I was actually not. Another way of looking at it is that if I was never fat, I would have probably never been motivated to go to the gym. And I would have never been able to go from fat to fit. I wouldn't have watched the fitness channels on YouTube. I wouldn't have been able to post my fat to fit transformation on YouTube, which was my first video ever. So if it weren't for that, you probably wouldn't have seen me right now. And not having the best genetics for building muscle or bodybuilding just meant that I had to develop a mindset that I was willing to go to the gym when nobody else was. Like even when it was raining, I would like hold an umbrella or cycle in the rain and go to the gym no matter what, which is something that I've developed over time. And because of that attitude, I feel like it has a carryover on the other things I do in my life as well, which is something that I look as a positive. At the end of the day, journaling is just a reminder to ourselves that there's just so much good happening to us and around us, which we take for granted on a day-to-day basis. It's a way of deliberately changing how we look at the world, taking some time and to reflect on this beautiful life that we have been given. It has honestly helped me become more aware, more calmer, and also has this really nice therapeutic effect to it. So whether it be writing down things that you are grateful for, which you take granted on a day-to-day basis, or also showing your gratitude to someone that you really love or have gratitude towards, I honestly don't see any negatives to it. I'm also really grateful for those who are watching. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, but at the same time, it is a two-way street where once I make the videos, there should be people to watch and kind of motivate me also from time to time. Only then will I feel good about making these videos. And I've gotten so much love and so much affection from all of you guys, which is honestly making my dreams come true. So yeah, thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.